This is our skills practice for section 6.7. We're looking for the length of a segment in the coordinate plane, or distance between points on a coordinate plane. So in each of these examples, they're going to give you an ordered pair or a point that lives in the coordinate plane. They're going to give you two of them, and you have to find the distance between them. So we have point X and point Y in number 1. Notice how these Y values are the same. They're both 0. And it doesn't matter if they were 0 or if they were both 1 or if they were both 2. The point is that they match. Anytime they match and you want the distance from X to Y, all you're going to do is take 4 minus 2, or whatever those numbers are. Subtract those two numbers. 4 minus 2 is 2. That's the distance between the points. Now remember, if you did 2 minus 4, you would get negative 2, but we're talking about a distance here. It doesn't matter which direction you go, the distance is still 2. Your distances are always positive. So these first couple all have coordinates, either x's, like these ones. See how these x's match? All you do to find the answer to number 4 is do 8 minus 1. Let's skip down to number 7. Number 7, we have x values that aren't the same, and we have y values that aren't the same. So you want the distance from A to B, and this is a diagonal segment since those coordinates didn't match. So here's how you do this. I like to write my formula out first. And then what I'll do is I'll put my x values and my y values in, and it's important where you put them. My x values are 2 and 5. I can put them in here any order I want. I'll do 5 minus 2. It's better to work with a positive than a negative, maybe. Now, my y values are these numbers. And I'm going to put them over here in the same order that I put my x's in. So if I did 5 minus 2, I need to do 3 minus negative 1. And you got to watch yourself when you subtract a negative. We're going to type this all into the calculator. And if you don't have access to a calculator, let me know. I will show you how to turn your phone into a calculator. So we're going to take the square root of 5 minus 2 squared plus, new parentheses, 3 minus negative 1 squared. So that's how you type it in. That's what it should look like. And when you hit enter, it's going to tell you the distance between those ordered pairs is 5. And that's rather rare. Typically, when you're finding the distance between ordered pairs, you're going to get a decimal for an answer. Unless, of course, you're doing one of these where coordinates match. When your coordinates don't match, you're probably, like a diagonal segment, very rarely is it going to be a whole number answer. Let's look at number 8. First thing you always check, see if the x's are the same. And they are. So all you need to do to find the distance between point D and point E is to subtract 5 minus negative 5. That's 10. How far is it from negative 5 to positive 5 on a number line? It's 10 units. That's the distance. As long as you keep your eyes open for those problems, it's going to make your job very, very easy. The first half of this, I know it looks like there's a lot of problems on here, but the first half of it are problems just like those. So you're just subtracting two numbers. That does not take long. Now, the rest of them are just like this problem. So if you understood this one, you should be able to do the rest of these. There's not much variation there. It's just different numbers. We'll do one more together. This is number 20. We want the distance from point S to point T. My x values are different. My x values are different, and my y values are different. That's a positive 6, and that's a negative 6. They're different values. Distance from S to T. Our x values are negative 2 and 7, and I can put them in any order I want. Okay, last time I put this guy in first. Maybe this time I'll put this guy in first. I'll do negative 2 minus positive 7. Now, since I did that, I better put the negative 6 first and the positive 6 second. I'm going to type this in. I'm going to do the square root of some parentheses, -2, this is your negative, that's your minus sign, -2 minus 7 squared plus, new parentheses, -6 minus +6 squared. Well, this is really crazy that we got another whole number answer. That is not very likely, but we got 15 there. Most of the time they're going to give you decimals. If you have a diagonal segment, it's probably not going to be a whole number length, so you're going to get a decimal, and when you do, you would round to 2 decimal places. That's how we want to do this. Okay, but these ones all worked out the whole numbers.